Suspects have been charged with multiple counts of rape, robbery with aggravated circumstances and being in the country illegally. This comes after 8 women were gang raped while filming a music video at a disused mine in Krugersdorp on Johannesburg's West Rand recently. eNCA's Nqobile Madlala has been tracking the story and she joins us now. Nqobile, thank you so much for joining us. So the NPA confirming now that they have 7 suspects that they've linked potentially to this gang rape. There was a fair amount of activity because there have been so many people arrested for either being illegally in the country or suspected illegal minors. Talk to me about what happened in court or various courts today.
Well, Sally, for starters, this morning until about after 12 o'clock, only then did we start seeing progress around the court in terms of what will be happening. A bit of delay we saw as they were going through, from our understanding, they were going through some dockets. We heard also from some of the people on the ground that they were saying that some of the dockets were coming in a bit later on. But what happened inside courts was that they divided the different people from different courts. This is, of course, to cover that number that we know that has been sitting at 81. But at this point, we cannot confirm exactly that it was 81 people that appeared. But we do understand that in these various courts, we know that about 7 of Lesotho nationals were in one court where they did all plead guilty of being unlawfully in the country. They did further have more people that went into that court, but then we moved to the court where we understand that now 7 people have been charged or have been rather linked to that 8 people gang rape. Now, from our understanding, Sally, out of the 7, 1 person has been identified as a minor, but we understand that this still needs to be verified, and that minor is going to be appearing tomorrow, hopefully after the age assessment, and that will only mean that then we'll know how old the 7th accused would be. Now, also the process now, what is going to be going on, we understand from NPA that 7 more people are yet to appear tomorrow, which are also linked to this gang rape, bringing this total to about 14 people that are going to be linked to this gang rape. And of course, this is something that the NPA said they cannot discuss any further, saying to us more investigations are still underway at the moment. But we do understand that an identity parade at this point has been one of the instruments that has given this breakthrough. Let's listen in as Pindi explains further.
Today we had 7 accused persons that are now charged with multiple counts of rape, 1 count of robbery with aggravating circumstances, as well as sexual assault. So their matter has been postponed to the 28th of September 2022 for further investigations. We can confirm that there is a prima facie case against all 14 accused, and the charges that they are charged with relate to the incident that happened to the crew that was busy shooting a music video here within the Rand municipality. The investigations are progressing very well. We can confirm that an identity parade was held yesterday as informed by the investigating officer, and that process too is still ongoing.
Before we move on to what happened outside court, just a quick follow-up. You're saying that of the 7 linked today and charged in connection with the gang rape, 1 of them is possibly under 18. Apart from that issue that needs clarity, do you know anything else about these accused? Are they South African? Are they foreign nationals? Are they also suspected of being illegal minors? What do we know, if anything, at this point?
Well, Sally, we know that most of them were arrested in and around Krugersdorp. We know that the areas that they were arrested in were the deserted mine dumps. So at this point, there is an idea that everyone's going with, and this is what the community has seen them as, illegal miners. But we do know that they are, and they have been charged already with being illegally in the country. So those are some of the things that have come up in courts besides the part where they are linked to this rape. We understand understand that the minor at this point, he had explained that he's about 15 years old, so that's still yet to be confirmed. And of course, with the police going in to ensure that they assess the age, we still will understand how young the minor is. Now, of course, this would only mean that this adds to the already 20 minors, which we understand that have already been identified in this case, with the youngest being about 14 years old. So, Sally, quite a worrying one. In fact, we had even spoken to some of the parties here on the ground, and they were saying that it's quite worrying that they're seeing young people also coming out of this court proceedings, saying that how did they end up in the country, and that's still yet to be investigated. And those are some of the things that they've highlighted, saying that there needs to be looked into quite carefully in terms of how they ended up in this illegal mining.
Yeah, it's so interesting because a lot of issues are sort of coming together here. We've got the rape crime, but we've also got, in a broader context, the problem of illegal mining, the reality that some children have been trafficked from other countries to take part in that illegal mining. An interesting outside court today, there were a number of political parties. Let's listen to what the ANC's Nqobile Madlala had to say specifically about the issue of illegal mining.
It is not only people of Lesotho origin. You have Zimbabweans, you've got Mozambicans, and then you've got Basotho. And that also for us is not even a major issue. Here, suspects on rape and robbery have been arrested, and they must be treated as such. And we must then, on our side as South Africans, work such that we do not harbor these kind of people in our homes, in our yards, because they've been mining in other people's yards, in other people's shacks. We must deal with that. We must also support the interventions around border control, the initiatives of the Department of Home Affairs. We're back tomorrow because we're told that there will be additional suspects. We'll come in tomorrow because we're here on behalf of the families. We're here on behalf of thousands of other South African women who are dying silently, also faced with these kind of crimes. And we are here as a community that is living under siege, because we hope that this can also act as a deterrent, given what the magistrate said about the kind of sentences that are there possibly against these suspects.
All right, so we've got suspects on a variety of charges, people outside court calling for swift justice. What exactly are they saying? And I would presume they are calling for swift justice specifically around the rape charge, which is a horrific situation.
Well, horrific indeed, Sally. I mean, a lot of the women that have come out here that we have spoken to have also just expressed that this can happen to anyone, and therefore they want to see justice takes its course. I mean, one of the people that had been very outspoken about what is happening in court was Nqobile, and she herself said that she grew up in this community and she knows how these mining communities have been affected, which is one of the reasons why they have come here to support women and also to support these families. We do understand that they are also in contact with the families that have been directly affected by this horrific incident. But also, Sally, if you speak to other political parties, you can just hear that this is beyond the political lines. It's a lot more to do with the fact that people are affected, that their lives could potentially be affected. And what also they're saying is that in this month where women are supposed to be celebrated, such things shouldn't be happening. But what they're asking for is a swift action to be taken, and they want, other political parties have said that they want no bail, whilst others have even said that they want harsher punishment. But let's listen in as they speak further.
Firstly, they need to be sentenced very harshly and then deported back to their countries, because should they end up in prison for any amount of time, we're still going to have to feed and clothe them. We're still going to have to do that. We're still going to have to look after them. So what's the use of them being sentenced and sent to our prisons? They need to go. They must just go. They must give us some breathing space. they're a nuisance.
Up until we understand that the cabinet, what is the cabinet's mandate? What is our governance exactly? That is what we need to find out here, because we are being fools. We are being taken for fools. We know that gender-based violence has been declared as a pandemic in South Africa, but we are sitting here with politics taking their own self-interest because they know what is going on here. So we're not going to entertain any political interest here. What we are here, we are saying our country must take care of the women. Our country must take care of its women and children. They must know that women in this country have been neglected. They've been suffering within the political, within the governance.
All right, so 7 charged today for that gang rape and 7 more due to appear in connection with that crime. Thank you so much for that update. That's eNCA reporter Nqobile Madlala.